Thunder, 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 ThunderCats! Hold up. Did you know that Lion-O was basically a 12-year-old in a grown man's body?
Why, I'm grown!
The Cosby Show connection to the ThunderCats? Or that Cheetara could outrun your mom's Honda Civic? Buckle up, because we're diving into the wildest ThunderCat secrets that'll make you scream sight beyond sight at your screen.
The fine figure of a ThunderCat you've grown up to be, Lion-O.
And so handsome, too.
It's only right when we begin with the most iconic female ThunderCat, and let's be honest, most folks' first cartoon crush, Cheetara. Cheetara wasn't just fast, she was 120 miles per hour fast. In episode 5, she clocked a 32nd mile. That's not just zoom, that's I just left my own shadow behind speed. Cheetara wasn't just fast, she had premonitions, making her one of the most unique ThunderCats. She fought with a staff and had a don't mess with me energy. And fun fact, parents loved her so much, they named 81 baby girls Cheetara in the 80s.
Cheetara!
Lion-O, why are you standing there? There's still 5 miles to go.
I know.
Then you know what that means.
Yes.
Try yelling that name at a playground today. And Cheetara's voice? That's Lynn Lipton, who also voiced every other female character in Season 1. She has done tons of voiceovers for TV and commercials. And yes, she returned with Larry Kenny in a hilarious Family Guy cameo. Up next, can you believe Lion-O was only 12? Lion-O wasn't just whiny. He was literally a kid. His stasis pod glitched, aging his body to 24 by leaving his brain at 12. Imagine puberty hitting you twice while fighting Mumm-Ra. No wonder he kept yelling for the Sword of Omens. It was his emotional support weapon.
Sword of Omens, come to my hand!
But over time, he stepped into his role as the leader of the ThunderCats, wielding the mighty Sword of Omens with honor. Before he was shouting ThunderCats ho!
Thunder! 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 ThunderCats! Ho!
Lion-O's voice actor, Larry Kenny, was a teen DJ, spinning records at just 15. He later became a radio legend and a regular on Imus in the Morning, showing off his killer impersonations. Think Elvis and Nixon. He also voiced Bluegrass in Silverhawks and Dolph in Tiger Sharks. Oh, and if Count Chocula or Sonny the Cuckoo Bird sound familiar, that's him too. Kenny returned as Lion-O in Family Guy and Robot Chicken, and even voiced Lion-O's dad, Claudius, in 2011 ThunderCats reboot. Talk about full circle. Up next, let's talk about the guy who could vanish into thin air and still steal a scene, Tiger. Tiger was the scientist, the architect, and not just the brains. He could disappear with his bolo whip.
I have a trick that comes in handy.
Where are you?
He was smooth, smart, and slightly mysterious. But his voice actor, Peter Newman, couldn't hide from the vocal strain. He said voicing the villain, Demolisher, nearly wrecked his throat. Worth it for that silky 80s voice. His vocal range landed him the role after impressing Rankin Bass in the late 70s, and once he got in, he stayed in. Newman was also Quicksilver in Silverhawks, Mako in Tiger Sharks, and voiced quirky villains in Felix the Cat the movie. Okay, but what happens when raw strength meets raw intellect? You get the next ThunderCat on our list, and trust me, you'll want him on your team, Panthro. Panthro was the tech genius who built the Thunder Tank and brought the muscle when things got wild.
That's my baby! Let's go!
No, Panthro, you need rest.
Cheetara's right. She and I will go on ahead.
With his nunchaku and no-nonsense attitude, he was the team's backbone. Panthro's voice was Emmy-nominated actor Earl Hyman, aka The Cosby Show's grandpa. This Shakespearean legend was fluent in Norwegian, acted in the Norwegian theater, as well as earned the St. Olav Medal in 1988 for his contributions. The man had range and royalty. Mostly known for his powerful stage presence, he was even nominated for a Tony for The Lady from Dubuque. So yeah, he brought dignity to a panther with nunchaku. But hold up, before you get too comfortable, let me introduce you to the youngest ThunderCats. Small in size, big on surprises. Willie Kit and Willie Cat were always ready to flip the script. These twin troublemakers brought fun, agility, and some well-timed mischief into the team. Always ready with tricks and gadgets, they were essential to the ThunderCats' vibe.
And sock it to Safari Joe.
And I promised you we'd have fun back at the lair.
These two were voiced by Lynn Lipton, again, and Peter Newman, meaning the cast was wildly overlapping. Fun fact, their pranks were so iconic, they made Snarf look almost tolerable. These two often brought the laughs, and their sibling dynamic made the show feel more like a family. And finally, there's one character who may not have had the flashiest powers, but somehow always found a way to make a difference. Whether you loved him or rolled your eyes, Snarf was always there. Snarf might have been comic relief, but he was fiercely loyal to Lion-O, always fussing, always flustered. But when it counted, Snarf delivered.
Just let the boy come down with a fever, or the pip, or something, and who gets the blame? Poor old Snarf, that's who.
Snarf's voice? The one and only Bob McFadden. He was a versatile voice actor, born in 1923, and started entertaining during World War II and never stopped. From singing to voice acting, his range was unmatched. He voiced tons of commercial characters. If you ever heard of a talking parrot in Whisk detergent ad, that was probably him. Fun fact, did you know Snarf's real name was Osbert and his race was Snarfs? Yes, Snarf College exists in their world. No, we're not okay. So we've talked about the team. Now it's time to focus on the thing that could level mountains and turn the tide in every battle. The Sword of Omens was one of the most iconic and powerful tools in 80s cartoon history. At rest, it appears as a small dagger, but when activated, it transforms into a full-length longsword with nearly indestructible properties. By Season 2, the Sword of Omens set rules? What rules? It pole vaulted, controlled weather, and even attacked villains with the ThunderCats logo. It wasn't just a sword. It was a Swiss Army knife with daddy issues. In some of the series' most intense moments, like in the episode Return to Thundera, the sword was powerful enough to overload a Plundarian warbot and hold its own against the full firepower of Radar O's starship, the Rat Star. At the heart of the sword lies its true source of power, the Eye of Thundera. Embedded in the hilt, the eye is a ruby-red gem that contains sentient universal energy force. When inactive, it appears as a closed cat's eye. But when fully activated, it transforms into the iconic black cat's head symbol fans know so well. This transformation occurs during the famous ThunderCats battle cry. Thunder, 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 ThunderCats, ho! Yeah, something like that.
Sword of Omens. Thunder. 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 ThunderCats.
The eye opens, the blade extends, and the sword releases a powerful signal into the sky, calling the ThunderCats and granting them a surge of power upon contact. And yes, the sword can fly. Lion-O has used it both as a guide and transport, literally flying through the air by holding onto it. In fact, the sword has also been shown to teleport him across great distances, as seen in Return to Thundera Part 5. Well, we know the ThunderCats have been a fan favorite for decades, but what if one of the biggest names in action movies wanted in on the action? Okay, here's a wild one from the ThunderCats rumor vault. Back in 2017, a quote started circulating from none other than Resident Evil star Milla Jovovich, where she supposedly expressed interest in playing none other than Cheetara. She stated, "I've always loved ThunderCats. I heard they were making a movie, and then they weren't making a movie, and I'm probably getting way too old to play Katra. No, Cheetara, that's the one." Yeah, she even fumbled the name a little, but hey, relatable. Now, whether or not she was being totally serious, fans were definitely intrigued. I mean, Milla as a psychic speedster cat warrior? That could have been epic. But here's the kicker. As of today, the ThunderCats movie is still stuck in development limbo. On again, off again, like a toxic relationship with your favorite childhood franchise.
Groon was expecting Jaga. It was Jaga he was after all along.
He wants a rematch.
Meanwhile, Milla kept it moving, starring in movies like 2019's Hellboy, 2020's Monster Hunter, and 2024's Breathe. So no Cheetara cameo just yet, but hey, never say never in Hollywood. We've seen the ThunderCats fight on Third Earth, but here's the twist. What if that wasn't just some alien world? Third Earth is actually our Earth, just post-apocalypse. Basically, after mankind's downfall. Proof? Mumm-Ra is shown clearly living in the Great Pyramid of Giza.
Come join me for a history lesson.
In another episode, the ancient spirits of evil tell Mumm-Ra that Excalibur was the greatest sword ever made. So Mumm-Ra disguises himself as King Arthur and borrows it from the Lady of the Lake, because nothing says cartoon logic like King Arthur's sword in space. So did we just rewrite your childhood? Who's your favorite ThunderCat? Lion-O, Cheetara, or low-key Tigra? Drop your hot takes below. And if you think Snarf deserved better, lie down until the feeling passes. ThunderCats, smash that like button, turn on the notifications, and don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss any of these deep dives into your favorite 80s and 90s moments. See you on the next one.